What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have an entire stack of books that I want to get to in 2023. Really, you can add my entire TBR to that list, but these are just a few of them that I really want to get to. So let's get started. All right, first and foremost, let's start with Ninth House. I have an Arc of Hellbent, and I didn't get to it in time before the actual book came out, but luckily the arc is literally the same size as the hardback, which is what makes me really happy. I really did love Shadow and Bone, so I have almost every expectation to enjoy Ninth House as well. Next up is going to be Priory of the Orange Tree. This monster of a book is so beautiful. Anytime it's sitting on my shelf, whenever I'm sitting in my living room over there, I can see the dragon lighting up whenever my lights behind me turn blue. It is so cool. And it also reminds me, I have not read it yet. It's a little daunting. I am not afraid of large books necessarily, but I just want it to be good enough that it's going to keep my attention. That's what's really worrying me. This could have been put into 3 books. I actually have a coworker that really likes to talk about this and be like, why is it so large? You could have just made 3 separate books and it would have been perfectly okay. But I want to read this, and then I want to read the sequel as well. I have so many coworkers that loved it, and I expect I will enjoy it as well, especially because it has dragons. Next up, staying with the high fantasy trend that we're on right now, is going to be the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. It's either this or it's Mistborn, especially with the new covers that are coming out that are not mass markets. I am very excited to read it if I get to it. I need to read more high fantasy. I haven't read a single bit of Brandon Sanderson, so I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy this. I own the first one, and I believe I own the third one as well, and I'm very picky about mass markets, so I wanted to get it in the full paperback edition. And I will say, 10 out of 10 for floppiness. Next up are a few arcs that I have had for way too long. They literally stare me in the face on my TBR shelf, being like, you should read me. You still haven't read me yet, what the fuck? First up is going to be A Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley. I don't know, I think I should just read more fantasy standalones. I believe this is a standalone, as well as her other book, which is also staring at me, called Sophie and the Bone Song. And I think Sophie and the Bone Song is going to be the one that I really want to read. Next up is going to be Night Spinner by Addie Thorley. I just read the back of this, and it's a must-read for Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse, for fans of the Grishaverse, as well as it's apparently an epic of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't really like fairy tale retellings. However, Hunchback of Notre Dame is one that I think I would be perfectly fine with. I don't know what this is even about, but I have the first one and I have the second one as well, which is called Skybreaker. Both of them are arcs and they kind of match each other, which is what I really like to see out of arcs. And I don't know. I think I have to be in the mood for it as well. It is a YA fantasy, so very much on the same vein as Sweet and Bitter Magic. I have to be ready for it. Next up is one that y'all are gonna be so mad at me for not getting to. It's Legendborn. I actually did start reading it. Read maybe 20 pages of it, and it wasn't for me at the time. I did not technically DNF it because I know that I'm going to love it. It's just, it wasn't what I wanted to read at the time, so I just reshelved it. I actually did find, I'll just show you real quick, an arc of Bloodmarked at one of our other stores that I went to today, so I'm pretty upset that they're not gonna match, but I'm kind of okay with it. I'm trying not to be as picky about, ooh, is that a sword on the side? Oh, see, I didn't notice that on the spine. It's like a sword hilt. So that's probably going to come into play because she's wielding a sword in this. I really do think I will absolutely love these. I know my coworker did. It's actually the same coworker who has Priory of the Orange Tree on his staff recs. So I just need to get to it. Next up is one that I am actually very disappointed that I have not read yet. It is Blood Like Fate by Lizelle Sambury. I loved Blood Like Magic. I cannot rave about it enough. It is a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy, based in Toronto, and it's a very much a family-centered story. And I think I started reading this one whenever it wasn't out yet. And again, it was very similar to Legendborn. It just wasn't what I wanted to read at the time. I've been getting a little bit more away from reading YA fantasies, but this is definitely still on the higher end of YA fantasies, like the higher age. So it doesn't necessarily read like one. I did read Delicious Monsters, and it was the first horror book I've ever read, and just as it's stewing around, I think I enjoyed it more than I let on. It was a little slow in the middle, and I think maybe this one starts off a little slow as well. So maybe that was why I wasn't really a fan of it. But look at that cover. I love every cover that Lizelle Sambury comes out with. They're beautiful. Next up is one that I actually just got because I found it used. The Atlas 6 by, oh God, Olivia Blake. Sorry, or Olivia? Someone let me know how to say that, please. I butcher authors' names all the time. But I've heard how many people love this. I actually have a pin of it on my lanyard of the main crest, and just, it's so shiny. It's so shiny and gold. It definitely reminds me of, what is that? A Deadly Education, and the way the hardcover of that when it first came out was super duper shiny, and then they made the paperback edition not as shiny, which it's kind of upsetting. However, I get it. Lower funds, you want to be able to sell the book at a profit, so I completely understand, but that's why I wanted the hardcover of this one. Again, it's just something I didn't get to, and I really hope I get to it. I also just realized all of these are fantasy, which makes sense. So, okay. Next up is King of Scars by Leah Bardugo. 2 Leah Bardugo books on here. I did not mean to do that. I actually just found this used as well. I buy most of my books used. If it's a book I'm really, really anticipating, like anything by Katie Edwards, then I will definitely buy it new. But this was one of the ones where I was like, I'm gonna wait and see. I also did want it in paperback as well to match the rest of my Grishaverse series, and I'm just excited for it. It will probably be a very quick read like the rest of the Grishaverse was. I got through it in about probably a month or maybe a month and a half, I think, for all 5 of those. So I'm excited to see a continuation of the story. Next up is Alexandra Bracken'S lore. I haven't read a lot of Greek mythology retellings, and I think this is a retelling. A lot of the, ooh, look at that map. Oh, it's in New York. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I actually have no clue what it's about other than, hey, look, a pretty cover. And I love Alexandra Bracken ever since I read The Darkest Minds in high school. I read it maybe 2 or 3 times within the same year because I loved it that much. I was really connecting with it. But I do not think this will disappoint me. I love her writing style. She is very fast-paced, so I think I'll like it. There are literally so many books that I have not read yet that I own. That doesn't even continue to show all of the e-arcs that I have on my Kindle. There are literally so many books that I have not read yet that I own. That doesn't even continue to show all of the e-arcs that I have on my Kindle. So hopefully I will get to a few of these. I know at the year's end, I am actually gonna do a video of me reacting to this, being like, I didn't read any of this. I didn't read any of them, but that's okay. New books come out every single Tuesday. You do not need to read every single book in the universe. that would be really, really difficult. So if you guys have any books that you really need to read in 2023, go ahead and leave a comment below. I would love to chat with you guys over there. I also am active on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, so go follow me on those. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. Go ahead and also subscribe if you would like to see more book content. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye, guys. I'm not gonna lie, after making all of these videos, I think the worst part is having to put all the books back.